If your erections have become weak, unpredictable, or maybe they've disappeared altogether, I need you to hear this right now. It is not your fault. And more importantly, it is not the end, because what I'm about to share with you has helped thousands of men over 60 take back their energy, reclaim their performance, and get back strong, natural erections without relying on pills, pumps, or anything that makes you feel embarrassed just walking up to the pharmacy counter. I'm Dr. Chloe Bennett, a specialist in men's health with over 25 years of experience working with older men across the United States. I've sat across the desk from truck drivers, retired firefighters, high school coaches, grandfathers, men just like you, who were suffering in silence, convinced their best days were behind them. And every single time, I told them the same thing. Your body is not broken. It just needs the right support. Now here's what surprised most of them. The majority of these men weren't struggling because of low testosterone or because of age alone. They were struggling because of one simple mistake in their diet. And when we fixed it, when we added just 3 specific vegetables to what they were already eating, they started experiencing firmer erections, renewed energy, and a sense of vitality they hadn't felt in decades. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly which 3 vegetables these are, why they work, how to prepare them, and how to start noticing a real difference in as little as 7 days. I'll also tell you the biggest mistake most men over 60 are making right now, even the ones who think they're eating healthy. And I'll give you a powerful, simple 7-day action plan you can start this week. So stay with me, your comeback starts right now. Before we get into it, if this is speaking to you, go ahead and hit subscribe and tap that notification bell so you never miss a new health tip made specifically for men over 60. And if what I'm saying is hitting home for you, drop the number 1 in the comments below. If not, drop a 0. Your feedback genuinely helps me create content that actually supports you. Supports your heart. Let's start with the first vegetable, one that most people overlook completely, but one that is absolutely essential for restoring blood flow, boosting energy, and bringing back strong natural erections. This isn't just food. This is fuel for your circulation. I want to introduce you to what I call the circulation charger, beets. I'll be honest with you. When I first started recommending beets to my male patients, I got a lot of raised eyebrows. Beets, Dr. Bennett? Really? But within a week or 2, those same men were coming back with a completely different look on their face. Surprise, relief, and sometimes just this quiet little smile, because something had shifted. Their energy was up, their blood pressure had come down, and their erections were stronger, more spontaneous, more consistent. All from a simple root vegetable they'd been ignoring for years. Here's what's happening inside your body when you eat beets. They are loaded with natural compounds called nitrates. Your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and widens your blood vessels. When blood flows more freely, it reaches everywhere it needs to go, including the penis. Without healthy circulation, even normal testosterone levels won't do the job. Erections are fundamentally a blood flow event. Full stop. I had a patient, I'll call him Raymond, a 68-year-old retired electrician from Ohio, who came into my office looking completely defeated. He said, "Dr. Bennett, I think I'm just too old. Nothing works anymore." I asked him to give me 10 days. Just 10 days. I told him to add half a cup of cooked beets to his lunch every single day. That's it. No prescriptions, no awkward treatments, just beets at lunch. 1 week later, he called my office. He said, "Doc, I don't know what kind of magic you're cooking up, but my wife and I are both smiling again." And I'm not gonna lie, that call made my day. Beets also help clean out your blood vessels, reduce inflammation throughout the body, and support heart health, all things every man over 60 desperately needs. But the key is consistency. Roast them, steam them, blend them into a smoothie. Find a way you actually enjoy them and make them part of your daily routine. The benefits won't just show up in the bedroom either. You'll feel clearer mentally, more energized throughout the day, and more confident in everything you do. And here's something most people don't know. When you combine beets with the other vegetables I'm about to share with you, the effect multiplies. There's one vegetable in particular that helps soften the arteries, improve blood sugar, and reduce stiffness throughout the body, especially where it matters most. Most men have no idea it even affects performance. But once you understand how it works, you'll never look at it the same way again. Let's get into that second vegetable right now. If you're still here and these ideas are landing for you, drop a 1 in the comments so I know you're with me and you're taking this seriously. The second vegetable is eggplant, the artery softener. Now let me talk to you about a vegetable that almost never gets the credit it deserves. Eggplant. When most people think of eggplant, they think of eggplant parmesan or some side dish their Italian neighbor makes. But when I look at eggplant, I see one of the most underused weapons for better circulation and stronger erections in the entire produce section. I'll never forget a patient of mine. I'll call him Harold, a 72-year-old retired postal worker from Georgia, who came to me after a minor cardiac scare and years of performance issues. He sat down and said, "Dr. Bennett, I feel like my whole body's just slowing down. My chest, my drive, even down there." What hit me wasn't just his frustration. It was how defeated he looked. Slut, like he'd already given up on himself. So we started simple. I asked him to bake sliced eggplant twice a week. Just drizzle it with olive oil, season it however he liked, and eat it alongside a lean protein. He raised an eyebrow, but he nodded. 3 weeks later, Harold sat back down in my office looking like a different man. "I don't know what's in that purple thing," he said, "but I feel younger, lighter, more alive." Here's the science behind it. Eggplant is packed with powerful antioxidants, nasonin and chlorogenic acid, that protect and repair the inner lining of your arteries. They reduce stiffness and help clear out the buildup that accumulates in your blood vessels over decades of living. Think of it like clearing out an old clogged pipe. Once the blockage starts to ease up, the pressure stabilizes and everything flows the way it's supposed to. And when blood flows better through your heart, your brain, and yes, your penis, you feel it in every single area of your life. Eggplant also supports blood sugar control and fights chronic inflammation. Two silent enemies of male performance that most men don't even realize are working against them. A lot of guys have slightly elevated blood sugar or low-grade inflammation and have no idea it's quietly chipping away at their energy and their drive. Eggplant helps put the brakes on that process. Same rule applies here as with beets. It's not about eating massive quantities. It's about being consistent. Bake it, grill it, roast it. Never fry it. Combined with a healthy fat like olive oil, it becomes a simple but genuinely powerful tool for softening those arteries and getting your confidence back. But here's the part that really excites me. When you start layering the circulatory benefits of beets with the artery softening power of eggplant, you're building a real foundation. But there's still one piece missing to complete this triangle. A leafy green vegetable that doesn't just improve circulation, it directly influences your testosterone levels. It's the secret ally most men never think to use, and it could change everything. The third vegetable is spinach, the testosterone ally. When men ask me, "Dr. Bennett, is there anything I can actually eat to help my testosterone?" I usually pause and smile a little because most of them are expecting me to say steak or some expensive supplement or some exotic powder they've never heard of. But most of the time, I point them towards something they've walked right past 100 times at the grocery store. Spinach. I know, it doesn't sound exciting, it's not flashy, but this quiet little leafy green is one of the most powerful allies a man over 60 can have in his corner, especially when it comes to energy, drive, and testosterone. Here's why. Spinach is rich in magnesium, zinc, folate, and plant-based nitrates. These nutrients work together to help your body release and utilize testosterone more effectively, the kind that improves your performance, your mood, your muscle tone, and your overall sense of being alive. One patient who comes to mind often is a man I'll call Walter, a 66-year-old retired Army sergeant from Texas. This guy was disciplined in everything, his schedule, his workout routine, his mindset, but his energy had just disappeared on him. He told me, "I'm doing everything right, Dr. Bennett, but I still feel flat, no spark, no motivation, just going through the motions." I looked at his diet and immediately spotted the gap. Almost zero vegetables. So we started small. I asked him to add a handful of raw spinach to his morning smoothie and saute a cup of spinach in olive oil with garlic for dinner. That was it. By week 3, his energy was back. He joked to me, "My wife keeps asking what I've been putting in that blender." But it wasn't a magic pill. It was real food working with his body to wake it back up. Spinach also helps reduce cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. Most people don't realize that chronically elevated cortisol literally blocks testosterone production. You can eat all the right things and exercise daily, but if your stress hormones are running the show, your testosterone is never going to get where it needs to be. Spinach helps pull that cortisol down, which gives your testosterone room to breathe. It also supports prostate health, which every man over 60 should be paying attention to. The best part about spinach, it goes with everything and takes almost no time to prepare. Blend it, saute it, stir it into scrambled eggs, toss it in a soup. It doesn't matter how you use it. What matters is that you use it regularly. Because when you combine spinach with beets pumping blood and eggplant clearing the arteries, you're not just improving one thing, you're restoring balance across your entire system. And there's something even more powerful waiting when you put all 3 together. Why these 3 vegetables work better together? Over 25 years of practice, I've learned something that sounds simple but changes everything. Real transformation almost never comes from one single change. It comes from the right pieces working together. And that is exactly what I've seen happen with beets, eggplant, and spinach. Individually, each one does something meaningful for your health. But when you put them together, something extraordinary happens. Think of it like building a fire. Beets are the match. They ignite better circulation almost immediately, getting blood moving where it needs to go. Eggplant is the firewood. It softens the arteries and reduces resistance so that blood can flow with less friction. And spinach is the steady fuel. It generates hormonal support from the inside out, keeping testosterone active and energy levels stable. On their own, each vegetable is genuinely useful. Together, they light a flame in your body that most men haven't felt in years. One longtime patient of mine, I'll call him Alan, a 70-year-old retired contractor from Arizona, was one of those guys who tried everything. Supplements, prescriptions, even testosterone injections at some point. Nothing seemed to stick. He sat across from me and said, "Dr. Bennett, I feel like I'm patching a sinking boat." So we stripped everything back and started with food. Just these 3 vegetables, prepared simply, eaten consistently. 3 weeks in, his blood pressure had dropped, his sleep had improved, and he mentioned quietly that his mornings were different. I knew exactly what he meant, and I didn't push him to say more. That quiet shift was everything. What makes this combination so special is how it supports your entire system at once. Your blood vessels, your hormones, your energy levels, they are all connected. When you nourish one, you support the others. When you nourish all 3 at the same time, you create momentum. And once that momentum builds, results tend to come faster than most men expect. In the bedroom, yes, but also in the way you move, breathe, and think every single day. But here's where a lot of men go wrong. Even with the right foods, they make one simple mistake that completely blocks their progress. It's the number one reason most older men don't feel the benefits they should, even when they're genuinely trying to eat better. I've watched this cost men their confidence, their energy, and their intimacy. And I don't want that to happen to you. The number one mistake most men make. I wish I could say this loud enough for every man over 60 to hear it, because I see it constantly. Men finally start eating better. They add beets to their plate, they cook up some eggplant, they toss spinach in their smoothie, and then a week goes by and they don't feel a dramatic change. So they start thinking, maybe I'm too far gone, maybe food just isn't enough, and they quit. But the problem isn't the food, the problem is how they're using it. The number one mistake I see men make is this. They treat food like medicine instead of fuel. They expect immediate results. They eat a salad on Monday and expect to feel like they're 40 again by Friday. And when that doesn't happen, they give up. Your body's not broken. It has just been running on empty for too long. Recovery, especially after 60, requires consistency. It requires patience. It requires faith in a process that doesn't always give you a dramatic overnight result. I had a patient, I'll call him Dennis, a 64-year-old retired school principal from Illinois, who told me, "Dr. Bennett, I've tried everything. Nothing ever sticks." When I asked how long he'd given each change he'd tried, he admitted maybe a few days, a week at most. That's when I told him something I want you to really hear. Your body responds to rhythm, not intensity, not short bursts of effort, consistent daily nourishment. That is how your hormones rebalance. That is how your blood vessels repair themselves. That is how real performance comes back. There's another mistake worth naming: letting stress run the show. Cortisol, your stress hormone, silently sabotages your progress even when everything else is on track. That's why I always recommend pairing these foods with intentional stress reduction. Deep breathing, gentle movement, a 10-minute walk after dinner. These things aren't soft, they're strategic. When you give your body the space to respond, it almost always does. And finally, too many men try to do this alone. They suffer in silence, thinking that talking about energy or intimacy or performance is somehow a sign of weakness. But I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I can tell you without hesitation, the men who thrive in their 60s, 70s, and 80s are the ones willing to make changes, ask questions, and keep showing up for themselves even when results aren't immediate. That is strength. Now that you know what mistake to avoid, let's put it all together. Here's your simple, clear 7-day action plan. Your 7-day action plan. The truth is that results only come when knowledge meets consistent action. So here's a realistic, no-stress plan you can start immediately. No guessing, no complicated meal prep, no expensive ingredients, just real food, a real routine, and a real shot at feeling like yourself again. Start your mornings with intention. Within 30 minutes of waking up, drink a full glass of water. If you can, step outside for a few minutes of sunlight or do some light movement. A short walk around the block, some gentle stretching, whatever works for your body. Then make yourself a smoothie. Here's exactly what to put in it. Half a cup of cooked beets, a big handful of raw spinach, half a cup of frozen mixed berries. Blueberries and strawberries work great, and enough water or unsweetened almond milk to blend it smooth. That combination gives your blood vessels what they need to open up and gives your hormones what they need to activate. For lunch, keep it simple and satisfying. Go with a lean protein, grilled chicken, salmon, canned tuna, or lentils if you prefer plant-based, and pair it with a side of roasted beets or grilled eggplant. Drizzle with olive oil and season however you like. Add a squeeze of lemon if you want to brighten it up. Make it something you actually look forward to eating. For dinner, finish the day with something warm and comforting. Sauté a full cup of spinach in olive oil with a couple cloves of garlic. This takes less than 5 minutes and the flavor is genuinely good. Add more eggplant if you like, or keep it light with a simple broth-based soup. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is rhythm. What you do daily matters far more than what you do occasionally. Now, and this answers one of the most common questions I get. The best time to have your beet smoothie is in the morning, ideally before or alongside breakfast, not on a completely empty stomach if you have any digestive sensitivity. The nitric oxide boost from the beets will be working through your system by mid-morning and throughout the afternoon. For the eggplant and spinach, evening works beautifully because the magnesium in spinach also supports deeper, more restful sleep. So, morning beets, evening spinach, and eggplant. Keep it that way and give your body a consistent schedule to work with. For snacks, go with a small handful of almonds or walnuts, hard-boiled eggs, or a slice of sharp cheddar. Skip the processed snacks, the chips, the crackers. They create the exact kind of blood sugar spikes that work against everything you're trying to build here. And don't forget your mind. Spend 5 minutes every day breathing slowly and deeply. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Close your eyes. Let your nervous system settle. I know that might sound small, but I've watched it make a measurable difference in the men who actually do it consistently. When your mind stops fighting against your body heals faster. That's not philosophy, that's biology. Stick with this for 7 days. Most men start feeling clearer, lighter, and more alert by day 3 or 4. Some begin noticing changes in the morning, subtle at first, then more obvious. This plan works because it supports your body where it matters most: blood flow, hormones, and recovery. When those 3 come into alignment, performance returns, not as a miracle, as a reflection of the care you're finally giving yourself. I want to leave you with something that goes a little deeper than vegetables and meal plans, because after 25 years, I've seen this truth play out more times than I can count. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for watching, but for choosing to take your health seriously. That decision alone puts you ahead of most. Too many men quietly accept the slow decline that they've been told is just part of getting older. They believe there's nothing to be done, but you're here. And that tells me something important about you. You're not done. You're ready to feel strong again, to show up fully, to reclaim the parts of yourself that time and stress may have dimmed. We started with the real reason energy and performance tend to drop after 60. We didn't look for shortcuts or gimmicks. We looked at food, real food, that works with your body the way it was designed to. Beets open up the blood vessels. Eggplant softens the arteries and improves circulation. Spinach helps restore the testosterone and vitality your body still very much needs and wants to produce. These three vegetables aren't magic, but they are powerful. And when combined, they create a synergy your body can feel within days. We talked about the main mistake most men make, not giving their body the time and the rhythm it needs to respond. And we laid out a 7-day plan that is simple, sustainable, and built on what actually works for real men living real lives. Throughout all of it, I've tried to speak to you not just as a physician, but as someone who has watched this work. In my exam room, over the phone, in follow-up appointments, where a man walks in standing a little taller, speaking a little louder, smiling in a way he wasn't smiling before. I've seen relationships rekindle. I've seen men rebuild their confidence from the ground up. And it all started with small, consistent choices made one day at a time. So here's my final word to you. You are not broken. You are not too old. You have not missed your window. You simply haven't given your body the right support. Until now. If you take these steps seriously, stay consistent, and trust the process, even when results are gradual, you will be surprised by what your body is still capable of doing. Your next chapter isn't over, it's just getting started.